So we're back. Hope you enjoyed the video. Hope that you found something constructive in there. And we're going to move forward. Yeah, it definitely is more than stigma for us. We're going to talk a little bit about this thing that I call post-traumatic growth. Where do we go from here? Right? Where do we go from here? Yeah, you can say black folks are, that we got stigma. We just don't trust the system. Part of that's true. But that still does not take away from our responsibility to get better, right? And with this thing that I call post-traumatic growth, where do we go from here? PTG, right? Post-traumatic growth or benefit finding is positive psychology change experienced as a result of adversity and other challenges in order to rise to a higher level of functioning. Ultimately, post-traumatic growth highlights the benefit of emotional growth, stronger relationship bonds, and different perspective on life. One of the things that blows my mind is whenever you're listening to these influencers or motivational speakers, a lot of these folks like to tell stories about adversity. And they'll tell these stories about adversity like, I was $10,000 in debt and I didn't know what to do. So I just sold all my stuff and I moved to so-and-so with $200 in my pocket. And, I just networked and just figured it out. And now I'm a millionaire. Like to give these stories of like these tragedies and triumphs that just sometimes are just like this. They don't understand a goddamn thing that black people have gone through. Right. And I'm like, they look at their adversity as the biggest challenge to growth. And the thing that helped motivate them, keep them hungry, to keep them hustling. Gotta hustle. They talk a lot about hustling to motivate them. And I'm like, black folks, we've been struggling for so long as far as not having things, access to resources and things, and making something out of nothing. Like we are the damn geniuses at that our growth should be beyond anybody's. I mean, hip hop was grown from nothing. Manufacturing sounds off of broken stuff, piecing together things to make a turntable, breakdancing on cardboards. Like we are the architects of manifesting something out of nothing. And this is why I think post-traumatic growth is so huge for us, because we've gone through a lot of this pain, but please believe if adversity is a key to success, we should be some of the most successful people out here, period. But there's tools that need to be in place for us to grow from the trauma that we've been in, right? There's tools that need to be in place in order for us to grow from the trauma that we've been in. The pain that you've been through only makes you stronger. If you allow it to not make you stronger, then it become problematic, but you need to learn how to heal. You need to get on your healing journey. So you should expect post-traumatic growth in your healing journey, all right? You should expect post-traumatic growth in your healing journey. And again, this can be done. Some of the elements of post-traumatic growth: brutal, honest optimism, right? So being optimistic, that's beyond hope. You need to be honest about it too. You can't just hope on stuff that you ain't being real with. You got to be honest with it. So optimism reduces the sense of helplessness when things fall out of control, okay? Right? So you're having hope, but you're being honest about the hope. You're not just wishing for fantasies. You're wishing for things that can actually happen and things can get put in place, right? Also, that's important. On the left side here, perception of control over events. What makes an experience traumatic is when we're not able to control the circumstances that led us to being harmed in some way. Recovery is about regaining control through the primary control, so taking action to change the situation, or secondary control, changing our orientation of the situation. You have the ability to do both. Yeah, you can't change the action of growing up in a domestic household. Can't change that. But you can change the orientation because you made it out of there. And you still have peace of mind. You still have an identity. You still have goals and motivations and values. And that unfortunate situation has made you stronger. You made it out of that event. That makes you stronger. The next thing, going down to the purple here, coping style. What is your coping style? Do you immediately start problem solving? Or do you have an active coping style? Or do you escape into a fantasy world or have an avoiding coping style? I think most of us escape into that fantasy world. We'll binge watch a TV show. We'll go to church or to the mosque, just listen to our great spiritual leaders and leave it at that. But those coping styles, if it's very hands-off and avoidant, can be problematic. So you want to definitely get an active coping style. I'm helping you do that with the things that I do. Strong sense of self. You know, in the conscious circles, hell, damn near in almost any circles where they're trying to get you to get better, it's always know thyself. Know thyself always comes up. A strong sense of self. Having a strong sense of self depends on having a purpose in life. Having a strong sense of self depends on having a purpose in life. What is your purpose? If you don't know, I have a product that's going to help you to identify that, called Level Elite. And if you do know your purpose or purposes, because I do think that you can have more than one purpose. Myself is to help my people. I went to school, got all these college degrees, got all this student loan debt for my people because I feel like my folks need mental health help. But I also have a purpose as a father to be the best dad that these little girls that I have, and if I have children later, they can be, to set them up so that they have an opportunity to compete in this world on a global scale and be the best women that they can be in this world. I have a purpose as a husband or as a partner to my wife to be the element of a man that not only she deserves, but that is needed to maintain our household together. Those are my purposes. I have a defined purpose for my community. I have a defined purpose to my children. I have a defined purpose for my family. And I have a purpose for myself. It's to be healthy, to be a role model, to be the best man I could be because I am a man. Those are my purposes. What are your purposes? And make sure that they're strong and they attach back to your sense of self, right? What do those 4 things lead to? All right. Whoops. Jumping the gun here. They lead to personal strengths, closer relationships, greater appreciation for life, new possibilities, and last but not least, spiritual development, which is what I talked about earlier. In the psychology world, Sigmund Freud took the spirituality out. He's the main person that has taught, that has influenced and informed most of the psychology. So we lose that. That doesn't work well for us Black folks. We need that because that's us, that rhythm, that connection to the Creator, that divine presence is there. But if you don't got these 4 things in line, that spiritual development piece ain't gonna work. Ain't gonna work. So again, we got to get ourselves together. We got to work on being brutally honest, brutally honest with our optimism. We need to have perception of control over the events that have happened and also have some proactive tools for the events that are supposed to occur later. Have active coping skills and have a strong sense of self. Those are all keys. If you're struggling with any of that, this is an option for you. Level Elite, personal revolution through self-development. And self is an acronym, all right, for survival education for legacy and future. Survival education for legacy and future. That's what I'm trying to provide. Self development? How do you get that survival education? Because guess what? You still black. We still live in an anti-black world. But that don't mean that you can't utilize your genius. You can't live a life of abundance. That doesn't mean that. Not at all. But this is it. Right here, this is one thing of many things to come. So I highly encourage you to check out Level Elite. Get the audiobook. Comes with the workbook. Work through the process. Start to get your mind into a space of growth and development. Stay connected with me. Stay in tune with me, because there's going to be more things to come to help you grow and manifest your Black excellence. If you don't know how to get in contact with me, here you go. Once again, I am Brandon Jones, psychotherapist, professor, and author. You can find me at jegna.org. We got free courses. We got scheduled trainings. So if you want to bring me in to your place of worship, if you want to bring me into your company, if you want to bring me into one of your schools to help, provide some constructive information and some direction, we can definitely make that happen. You can also get books. The first book that you'll be seeing there is going to be called Healing is a Journey. We're going to get right into it. Understanding how healing is a journey. We're going to talk about post-traumatic growth in that book. We're going to talk about a couple other concepts I have, the universal goal. We're going to talk about social emotional intelligence in that book. But definitely go to, jegna.org. Definitely sign up. You can get the free courses. Got a webinar you get on there as well. We're breaking down the historical trauma that Black folks have gone through. We're going way more in depth. But for today, we're just going to touch a little bit on the history of mental health, because I don't think people really know or really think about this whole concept of mental health. It's nothing new. But it has been manifested into something that we can utilize as a tool. It was never made for us, but that doesn't mean that we can't do what we always do as Black folks, is take it, put our flavor on it, and make it genius. And that's what I'm here to do. Again, Brandon Jones, jegna.org. I appreciate and love you, family, and I'll see you again soon. Peace.